Media is about power, and I love being powerful, and I love the fact that I'm in my living room and I'm vibing so hard that you, wherever you are, is just like, yes, chimney. Like, I love it. It sends a thrill through me, okay? Oh, the spatula. Hey y'all, it's Chimdi. I have a spatula here because this is the weapon of choice of Miss Kelly Stamps, and this video is about how she has changed my life. To be clear, I am using this video because I want to leverage her SEO, all right? You throw somebody successful in the title, people searching for their name, they see your video, maybe if you cute, they're like, I'm gonna click on it, and then their subscribers become your subscribers. In addition to that, I've had a couple people in my comments mention Kelly Stamps in reference to me, and given how insanely successful and talented and smart and awesome she is, I was like, I'm honored. Y'all are putting me in the same breath as her. I wanted to unpack the relationship that I've had with her because I think it kind of sheds light on some of the other things I'm learning in this YouTube journey. That is the point of this video. Go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you have not already, y'all. I'm pretty sure we're at 10K. If I'm wrong, it doesn't matter because at some point I will hit 10K and then I'll be right. But I'm gonna confidently state that by the time this video goes up, we have hit 10,000 subscribers. And like I said, if we have not, I'm gonna be honest, I am disappointed in you all. I am disappointed in you all because I feel like I'm doing my part, which is existing. So y'all should do your part, which is to support me without question, okay? And for all of y'all who do, y'all are so great and so hot. So hot. Goodness, you know? It's so funny. People be leaving the funniest comments. If you leave a comment that is interesting in my comment section, I'm clicking on your name and I'm doing some research on who you are. And if you're hot, I'm taking note. This is a two-way street. Let's get started. So let's talk about the sexiest thing of all, which is money. And that is the main way that Kelly has changed my life. When she was transparent about how much money she was making from AdSense every month, this was a while ago, I watched one of her videos. She said she was making like 16,000, 14,000, something like that. I literally just stopped what I was doing and I just like sat there because I was just like, I did not think it was possible. I had a lot of limiting beliefs that I didn't realize I had. As a Black woman especially, I was like, I can't just be out here with like a few tens of thousands of subscribers and think I'm gonna be able to get any money off that. That is reserved for like hot young white women. They get to ascend. And I didn't realize how deeply held that limiting belief was. It made me realize for the first time that this was something that was achievable for me. This wasn't just a pipe dream. All of that is why I eventually did quit my job and I eventually did pour more into my channel and start pushing myself with vulnerability and start increasing my quality because I realized this is worth doing. To understand that you could actually make 20, 30K, it's still pretty wild to me, but it's so helpful. I've experienced it in the nonprofit space, and I know if you're in corporate and you've watched this, you know what I'm talking about. There is this secrecy around salary. Not knowing how much the person next to you makes and thinking maybe you make more will keep you quiet about your paycheck. I remember working a job and I knew I was the highest paid woman working there, and it was uncomfortable because I knew it wasn't fair at all. It was definitely inequitable, but I was benefiting from the inequity, so I stayed quiet until I quit, and then I was like,
just so y'all know, this is how much money I was making. So you are right to be mad. Okay, bye.
I really appreciated her being transparent about how much she's making because it gives other creators, especially creators of color, a chance to understand our true worth and our true value, because it's tough to believe people will pay you for your art, you know, because art is so subjective and the utility is qualitative. You measure how art moves you in terms of the qualitative changes, not the quantitative, and quantitative is so much more easier to measure. And so to understand you as you are, showing up the way you show up, talking about what you want to talk about and being yourself is incredibly valuable. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's worth continuing to push yourself to get more and more real on camera. It's hard. Like I'm trying not to mention it in every video. As I look back at my older videos, I was not being my full self. I was being a very manicured, polished version of Chimdi that I thought would do well for YouTube. And I swear I didn't think I was doing that. I think I thought I was being myself. And maybe that's really who I was at the time. But I think if I'm being honest, there was a level of vulnerability that I was not comfortable getting to on camera. I'm still working on it, and it's really beautiful because when you are more yourself, you give others permission to be more themselves, which is what Kelly has done for me. You connect with people in such a deeper way. The fact that I can bring an energy on camera and then my vibes are sent through the lens to you viewer watching wherever you are watching. I'd be really curious to know where you're watching this, by the way. Is just so cool. So freaking cool, and I love that. It feels very powerful, y'all. Okay, so just as quickly as I am so motivated by Kelly's success, it's so easy for me to be just as quickly discouraged by it and have the negative self-doubt and the negative talk come up that are just like,
I actually only have like one hit video series, and then what if those people, they don't like the other stuff I have to say, and they watch them videos and they're just like, oh, just kidding, and they unsubscribe.
you know, and I'm just like, Wait, hold on. And I realized from Thomas Hubel, I'm gonna see how many videos I can go where I mention Thomas in every single one. Truly, he is a major part of my life. Hey y'all. So one thing I really love about Miss Kelly Stamps is that she is not afraid to be real sexy on her YouTube channel. I think as someone who is arguably hot, I'm kind of worried about doing that because I don't want people to think of me as only being worth watching or listening or subscribing to because of my outsides, because I think I have a lot to offer in my spirit and in my energy, you know, and in my intelligence. As a result, like, I just don't really do a lot of this on my channel, even though I'm sure it would bring me more subscribers, because it's a part that I'm just not really comfortable showcasing in that kind of way. And I really appreciate that Kelly genuinely is herself, you know, like she shows the full sides of herself, including the really sexy side, and it's motivating and it's encouraging, and I truly would not be doing all this for real if it was not for her. So thank you, girl. All right, and if you're appreciating this, go into her comment section and be like, thank you, Kelly, because you're really inspiring the Black women of YouTube to be their sexiest self, and we all benefit when that happens. This is also functioning as my mid-video break. I want to ask you a question. Who is a YouTuber, one that you just like think I should watch, that you think is good, but also who is a YouTuber that reminds you of yourself, where you watch them and you're like,
This is actually me.
because I think that's what's amazing about her channel. She is so human that you just feel so deeply connected, and I think that's so beautiful when people can show up like that and then show up like that on camera to give people who you may never meet a chance to feel so deeply seen. I think that's just really lovely. So that is the mid-break question, and then please go ahead and give the video a thumbs up and subscribe. You know the whole deal. You know the whole deal. Let's get out of here. Back to the video, all right? Back to the video. Thomas Hubel talks about when we were healing our trauma, how if we're not ready, if we're not equipped with either the love and the support of that community around us to hold space for us, or we ourselves just haven't done the work to face whatever it is we're healing, when we touch that thing, that trauma, there's a reason we moved away from it. It's because it was scary. So if we touch it and we're not ready, it can be debilitating, you know, and it re-traumatizes us. You have to be careful about knowing when you're ready to engage and handle certain stuff. And what I realized was I would watch her videos and I would see how successful she was, and I would start to go down this like really dark space of like bringing myself down, like you'll never be as successful as her, you'll never have that many subscribers, you don't have what it takes. And at the same time, I'd also want to be talking negative about her. I'm like, oh, her editing's not that good, she's not that funny, she's not that cool. And I was like, yeah, this isn't actually helping me, this isn't helping me be creative. There are some times I'm gonna need to unsubscribe because seeing that reminder, it would just bring out the part of me that was still healing, you know? And now I feel like when I can engage with people who are more successful than me, you know, through subscribers and money, and actually subscribe to them, that's how I know that I'm healing. Their success is not a threat to me. I don't see it as a reminder of something I lack. I instead see it as a reminder of something I am able to do. And I feel motivated to show myself and the world how true that is. I am genuinely so pleased when someone references her name in my comments, because I'm just like,
Oh, that means I'm not crazy.
my confidence is bordering on delusion, but it is not delusion. And everyone who's successful, literally, I think it's, you know, there's many quotes about it, but it's like people who are successful are the people who did not accept failure, who did not see failure as failure and instead saw it as another chance to get up again. Every person at every rung always has someone up that they can be looking to as, oh, but I'm not at their level yet. And realizing now at this stage of my career to just shut that off and just be happy exactly where I am, knowing everything's gonna work out exactly as it should, is such an important lesson. And I appreciate you, Kelly, for helping me learn it. One thing that Kelly also reminded me of is that, as we know, like being a successful person, being on YouTube, being a famous person, being a celebrity, it doesn't mean you stop having problems because you have money and attention. You have the exact same problems, and now we just know about them, or we find out about them later and we're like,
Oof, they were really going through it.
for instance, in one of Kelly's videos, she referenced that her father passed. I don't know for sure, but I think it was around the time that her YouTube was really blowing up. So you have this mix of all this professional success, and then you have your personal life where you're going through it. I just watched Bo Burnham's special Inside on Netflix, and I think he did such a great job of showing just the deterioration that can happen to you creatively and emotionally and personally, and just how you are going through it and still creating and still pushing yourself to create. And Bo Burnham was someone who started on YouTube, and one thing he made a point of saying is that he didn't delete his old stuff. He was like, see the growth, see the path. And I was recently looking at I was doing some YouTube research because I was like, let me get better at editing. I found a woman woman who I remember following 5 or so years ago, and I was like, oh, let me see what she's up to because I remember her editing was really good. It turns out literally all the videos you saw where her life was so beautiful and great and perfect, struggling. She references that she hit 1 million followers and had no one to celebrate with. And I was like, you really don't know. And we know, you're told that again and again and again about how social media is a lie. We can't trust anything. And it's like, we can know that, but if you really do see someone, especially on video, because photos is one thing.
You can Photoshop yourself on a private jet. Nobody needs to know.
You got video of you on the private jet. I mean, this wasn't this woman's life, but you know, just in terms of when you can make it seem so real, to remember that actually we really don't know. No matter how honest and vulnerable someone is being with you, you really do not know what is going on in their life. And literally at some point, I might circle back to this video and talk about some stuff, but we're not gonna talk about it right now. Another thing that Kelly has taught me is the ways you have to be careful as you grow in success of how people start to treat you. One way she referenced this was in talking about how as she got more successful, people who wouldn't text her back were now triple texting her. And I was like, interesting. And we've heard that, right? Like celebrities get successful, suddenly they got cousins who start popping up talking about like,
can you loan me a little something, something?
But it was interesting because when I first started watching her videos, YouTube would start sending me related videos that were all weirdly antagonistic. They'd be like,
why does anybody like Kelly Stamps? You know, this is my problem with Kelly Stamps.
and I'm just like, I was just so confused. I was like, what? I'm used to that energy around A-list celebrities, but I'm like, you really made a whole ass video about how someone on YouTube, how you don't f with them? Like, I'm just like so confused. And just realizing that like that is part of the BS that you have to face is other people using your name, not unlike the way I am doing it, to bring more attention to them and realizing, yeah, that people are just kind of objectifying you in that way is just super interesting. I found myself watching the first 10 minutes of this YouTube drama between these two creators, and one person was so clearly, one person was like a narcissist and the other person was being victimized by it and didn't have the awareness to realize the dynamics that were at play and kept kind of feeding into it. It was just so interesting because first off, I was like, genuinely, does this person know what they're doing? Because to me, outside looking in, it's so obvious that like this person's manipulating you and using you for content, and then every time you respond, you're feeding into the machine. I don't even want to get into it because I don't want to be dragged into YouTube drama. That's not my lifestyle. And I think what I really appreciate is that I would have had no idea that anybody was making any videos about Kelly talking because she pays them no attention. And it's a really good reminder. Maybe I might meet somebody in the future. The next thing I know, someone writes an article about it or, you know, makes a video about it. And understanding there's a way to handle that with grace. And there have been a few examples I'm thinking of lately of people being in situations that could just grow and mushroom, and instead being like,
no, actually, this isn't my business.
I'm focused on positivity, and I'm like, that's exactly how I want to handle any kind of thing in my life. As Tabitha Brown would say, let's just all mind our business. Life really is easier that way, y'all. That is the video, y'all. I am so grateful for you all for watching and for commenting and for giving me so much love. It's so beautiful. I'm so grateful that some of y'all think that I can be said in the same breath as Kelly Stamps. That's genuinely like very humbling, and I do appreciate it. And I'm really grateful to her for showing us Black women especially that you can be yourself, and that shit is great. That's the video, y'all. Thank you for watching. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to see more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.